welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is The Flash, Season 2. At the end of Season 1, The Flash was trying to close a black hole by running real fast. But to fully close it, he needs help from Firestorm, flies up there, and defuses in the middle of it. Boom! Yeah, that worked. Dr. Stein survives, but unfortunately Ronnie did not. So sad for poor Caitlin, they just got married at the end of last season. So last season they defeated the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, posing as Dr. Harrison Wells. The Flash was his mortal enemy, but in the time he spent mentoring Barry, he came to like him a little bit. He especially felt bad about his father in prison, so he left a will as Harrison Wells confessing to the murder of Barry's mom. So yes, it happens, Barry's dad is out of jail. So life goes on in Central City with a new one-off metahuman attacking every week. But why have they never seen these metahumans before? Well, turns out they are from a parallel Earth. They call it Earth 2, one of a series of infinite Earths, and strap yourself in, cause it's multiverse time. This handsome man who tells them about it is Jay Garrick. He is the Flash over on Earth 2, and his arch nemesis there is a speedster with blue lightning called Zoom. The black hole they caused at the end of Season 1 opened a portal between the worlds, and Jay Garrick got sucked in through it. And now Zoom is using smaller portals all over the city to bring through Earth 2 metahumans and have them attack the Flash. When Jay was sucked through the breach, he lost his speedster powers, but he still joins Team Flash as a coach. He teaches Flash a really neat speedster trick. If you run fast enough, you can throw lightning, baby! Pew! Dr. Caitlin Snow comes up with a drug, Velocity 9, that does give him his speed back, but only temporarily, and if you use it too much, it'll kill you. It's only been a few months since her husband Ronnie died, but Jay's real handsome and a nice guy. They've got a cute romance. Speaking of romance, there's a new hot girl cop on the force, and she's super into nerdy CSI stuff. Long story short, she and Barry date for the whole first half of the season, but then she goes back off to CSI college. Goodbye. One of the Earth 2 metahumans is a giant shark, man! What? Yes, he's called King Shark, and much like Gorilla Grodd, he shows up about once a season. Speaking of Grodd, this season he kidnaps Caitlin, King Kong style, but they manage to throw him through a breach to the jungles of Earth 2, where there's a whole city of intelligent gorillas. Earth 2's crazy. Anyway, the guy who took down King Shark is the Earth 2 Dr. Harrison Wells. Much like his real Earth 1 counterpart, he's the genius behind Star Labs, but this one carries a laser gun and he's real grumpy. It's weird having Dr. Wells back on the team, so they call this guy Harry. Eventually, the Flash comes face to face with Zoom, but even with his new lightning powers, Zoom is way faster than Barry. This gonna be a problem. In the meantime, Cisco starts having trippy clairvoyant visions of what's going on elsewhere or in the future. Turns out Cisco is a metahuman. Yeah, he was hit by the dark matter from the particle reactor explosion. It just didn't manifest till now. He built some sweet shades to help him focus his power, and he goes by the name Vibe. He starts dating a cute barista, but when they touch hands, oh, he vibes her with crazy Hawk Girl powers. Turns out she does have Hawk Girl powers. It's part of the big crossover event this season, which leads into the start of Legends of Tomorrow. Now back to Zoom. Turns out this Harrison Wells is working for him because he has his daughter Jessie hostage. He wants to steal the Flash's speed, so he has Dr. Wells put a thing in his suit that saps his energy, and he's shooting it up. All right. Now at first Harry didn't care about Team Flash. He had an antagonistic relationship with this crew, but after working together to stop various threats of the week, he starts to like them, so he feels bad and confesses. They forgive him though. You were just doing what you had to do to save your daughter, and now we're gonna help you. Using fake science, they close down most of the breaches, and this is a good time to make fun of the constant stream of science gibberish on this show.
How did you stabilize it?
CFL quark matter.
Negative energy density with positive surface pressure. That's genius.
But they leave the one breach open under Star Labs, and it's time for a bro road trip over to Earth 2. They knock out Barry's nerdy doppelganger so Barry can impersonate him for a day. Earth 2 Joe West is a jazz lounge singer. It's his daughter Iris who's chief of police here, and more than that, is married to this Barry. But Earth 2 Firestorm is a villain, along with his girlfriend Caitlin Snow, who on this Earth has crazy ice powers. She's Killer Frost. Cisco's doppelganger is also a villain named Reverb, and together they're taking down the Flash. Just then though, Zoom comes up and insta-kills Ronnie and evil Cisco. I told you guys I wanted the Flash alive. So Zoom brings the Flash to his personal dungeon where he has Jesse Wells as well as a mysterious man in the Iron Mask. The rest of the crew convinces Killer Frost to help him. She wants revenge for Ronnie. She leads them to Zoom's dungeon where they rescue Jesse, and when Zoom shows up, ice powers holds him off. They make it back to Earth 1, gonna close the breach behind him, but not before Zoom, stabs Jay Garrick through the heart. No! And there's no way to reopen the breach. They're safe on Earth 1, but Earth 2 is doomed to be ruled by Zoom. But life goes on for now. Turns out Joe West has a surprise son named Wally. He's a delinquent street racer, but soon becomes part of the family. In fact, he and Jesse Wells start flirting, so watch out for that. Then one day, Eobard Thawne shows up. Yes, the Reverse Flash, but he doesn't remember Season 1. This is his past. But wait, wasn't he erased from the timeline? Well, not yet, because this is his past. He's a time remnant. Anyway, Season 2 Barry handily beats this guy and imprisons him, but that causes a time paradox where Cisco's gonna be erased. So they have no choice but to send him back to eventually live their Season 1. Now one day, Cisco tries to vibe Jay, but turns out Jay is Zoom. Yes, 2 seasons in a row, the villain was one of their friends in disguise. If Barry's ever gonna stop Zoom, he needs to get a lot faster, and he needs to learn from another speedster. So he travels through time back to season 1 to learn from fake Harrison Wells. This Eobard-thon, though, is an experienced time traveler and immediately realizes this is future Barry. They have a nice little chat where Barry bluffs his butt off and convinces Eobard to give him the speed formula. Turns out if you mess with time travel, though, the Speed Force might send time wraiths after you. They only managed to defeat this one because Barry's trip accidentally turned a season 1 villain into a good guy. Anyway, they got the speed equation. Turns out the key to being faster is juicing yourself with tachyons. And zoom, it works! Barry's faster than ever. So fast, in fact, he accidentally crosses over to Earth 38 where he meets Supergirl for the first time. So pure speed can get you between Earths, but Barry can't control it. But maybe Cisco can. Yes, his vibe powers aren't just for seeing things. He can open breaches to other Earths. And immediately Zoom hops on through. With Barry's new power-up, he and Zoom are evenly matched. But Zoom plays dirty and kidnaps Wally. Flash has no choice but to give up his speed. While they're waiting for the science thing, they clear up some points with Jay. Turns out his real name is Hunter Zolomon. He was a serial killer on Earth 2 that got the Flash powers. He started playing both villain and hero just for fun and to mess with people. But wait a minute, who was the Jay Garrick he killed? Well, that was a time remnant of himself he created by going back just a little bit so he could be on Earth 2 and 1 at the same time. Anyway, with all that cleared up, the Flash drains his speed and gives it to Zoom all unlimited power. He kidnaps Caitlin, hoping to Beauty and the Beaster. He does really have a crush on her. In his dungeon, Caitlin meets her doppelganger, Killer Frost, who none of the boys told her about. Working together, they manage to escape, but Killer Frost turns on her. Luckily, Zoom shows back up right then and kills Killer Frost. Then Zoom comes back to Earth 1 and kills a whole squad of police officers, takes the camera like, I own this world now. Without his speed, Barry can't do anything to stop it, but Harrison Wells has a crazy idea to recreate the particle accelerator explosion. Unfortunately, it does not go great. Barry is disintegrated, and the wave of dark matter hits Wally and Jesse, but they don't develop any speed powers yet. As you might imagine, Barry's not dead. He's just trapped in the Speed Force, which turns out has a personality. It talks to him as his various friends. But long story short, they're able to get him out of there, and Flash got his powers back. Their celebration is short-lived, however, when Zoom crashes the party, grabs Barry's dad. No, don't do it, but Zoom does. Kills Barry's father. They have an epic speedster fight. They're closely matched, but Barry has trouble killing Zoom because he keeps killing himself. Yeah, he's created a bunch of time remnants of himself. So for complicated reasons, instead of a fight, it comes down to a race. Zoom wants to prove he's the fastest man in the multiverse, and so boom, they're racing around this big science thing, which turns out with 2 speedsters powering it up would destroy all the other Earths in the multiverse. So to stop it, Barry's got to use one of Zoom's tricks and create a time remnant of himself. While one of them fights Zoom, the other one runs around the science thing real fast, sacrificing himself but saving the multiverse. And the surviving Barry defeats Zoom, gets him pinned down. Just then some time wraiths show up, fed up with Zoom shenanigans. They carry him off, so the day is saved? So wait a minute, Barry, what's the deal with your time remnant? You're telling me that the future you came back in time then sacrificed himself? If you're super confused about how this time remnant trick even works, you're not alone. Barry's like, hey, don't worry about it. Hopefully it won't come back to haunt me later. For now, though, they rescue the mystery man in the iron mask, and turns out it is a doppelganger of Barry's father. Yes, this is the real Jay Garrick, who is the Flash on Earth 3. So the day is saved, and everyone's going back to their own Earths. Team Flash is an expert in this multiverse stuff now. Barry, though, is still super sad about his dad's death, and Iris, who hasn't really been in the season much, is like, hey, would making out make you feel better? So Barry and Iris have their real, actual first kiss. He's still sad, though, so he decides to do some time travel back to the night his mother was murdered. And this time, consequences be damned, he busts in there and saves her. But now his past self, who was watching from the stairwell, fades from existence. What does that mean? Find out on The Flash Season 3. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies. And if you loved this recap, check out the join button and support the channel as a member.